Greetings all! This is Justin from Those Hairy Gamers, and I'm here with Nick.
Hey, you doing, Justin?
Yeah, not too bad.
Excellent. We're back to do some more X-Wing list reviews. So as I stated last week, we're going to do these in groups of lists. And we're going to talk about list archetypes. Today we're going to talk about TIE Defenders.
Ooh.
Which was a really cool ship that sort of evolved in the meta last year with Imperial Veterans.
Yep.
When it got its fix pack. And it had a bit of a beating with a nerf about 6-ish months ago.
Yeah.
But it's still a great solid ship.
Okay.
Basically, Imperial Veterans brought along 2 new titles for it. It had the TIE D, which allows it to take a free shot with a very cheap cannon before its regular shot.
Yep.
Or the TIE X7, which actually reduces its cost by 2. And whenever it takes a 3-4-5 speed maneuver, it takes a free evade token. Both very potent, and both of these titles made this very overcosted, overbloated ship very usable. It's very similar to what they're doing with the Star Viper title coming out in about a month's time.
Ah, cool.
They're reducing the cost and making it a lot more relevant.
Yep.
The Defender and the Star Viper had the same issue when they were first made. Really, they had a lot of cool things going on for them, but there was no real strong symbiosis. So before we jump into these lists, let's actually just discuss what makes the Defender tick. Basically, it is a very strong all-round TIE fighter. It doesn't favour necessarily the most highest of pilot skills, the heaviest of attacks, or the most durable of defensive stats, but it scores very highly in all of those fields. For example, it's not nearly as defensive as, say, a Sunta Fel, but it is very, very tanky, in that it has 3 green dice and 6 hit points. It doesn't attack with 4 red dice like, say, Whisper, but it shoots with a nice consistent 3 red dice, which is nearly as good, frankly. And unlike Imperial Aces, it tends to favour pilot skills of around about 5 or 6. This seems to be where the most competitive builds seem to land, as opposed to the pilot skill 8 or 9 stuff you usually see on Imperial Aces. So it's very interesting. It's a very strong mid-range ship with some excellent base stats. So before we dive into the list, let's have a chat about actually what is common in the meta, what makes Defenders really good. We have a couple of really solid builds in Countess Riot and Colonel Vessery, which I'm putting up on the screen here for you guys to see.
Yep.
List archetypes, we're talking usually about 3 of Defenders. And another big one was Palp Defenders, which was kind of a variation on Palp Aces. This actually took the Australian Nationals last year and was a really, really cool list.
Oh, wow.
A bit nerfed now that the X7 title doesn't give you evade tokens if you bump into a ship. But I still like the concept behind this, and I still think it's very potent. Let's just start with this list from Leb for Durban. We have Colonel Vessery with Swarm Leader, doing his thing, doing massive attacks, TIE D and Ion Cannon. I'd probably go towards Tractor Beam with this because he wants his massive attack to punch through harder, and the Tractor Beam helps with that. Ion Cannon is still good, but it doesn't really capitalise on it as well.
Okay.
And instead of 2 other Defenders with the X7 title, we've gone for Sinar test pilots in the TIE Advanced prototype.
Which is quite interesting.
It is. It's a great idea, actually. I quite like this concept. They all have the TIE V1 title and auto thrusters, which gives it some odd advantages over the TIE Defenders. I mean, basically, the way I look at this list is this is a take on the classic Vessery with Swarm Leader with 2 X7 Defenders and his wingman to feed him evade tokens. And to properly judge this, you have to weigh up the pros and cons of this list versus that list. And the pros of this are pretty well stated. We have boosts on these pilots. We have a better dial. We have auto thrusters, so they are arguably a bit more tanky. Defenders have 3 hull, 3 shields, and the TIE Advanced have 2 hull, 2 shields.
Yeah.
So across the board, they're all 6 hull, 6 shields. But you can make the case that this is actually more tanky.
Yeah.
I know, but the argument against that is, well, across 3 bodies rather than 2, it means after they do 4 damage, they can take out one of your ships.
Yeah.
It means you're reducing the amount of firepower in your list. And indeed, these eyes only have 2 red dice. But I do love how their dial's good. They've got better repositioning ability, so...
Yeah, it's an interesting, different take.
I mean, I always fall back on the idea that there's probably a reason why this didn't prevail, but this is certainly not strictly worse.
I agree.
I look at this list and I think, yeah, this is really, really cool. And it's doing a lot of cool stuff. The only criticism I really have is just switch out Ion Cannon for Tractor Beam. Ion Cannon's cool because it's doing damage, but I just think Tractor Beam's going to gel better with Colonel Vessery's ability. And the only other criticism I have is Swarm Leader works with a maximum of 2 other ships. So having 3 more, you're giving yourself insurance. If one of your ships pops, you can still get the massive Swarm Leader attack. So I can see what's going on there.
But is it really necessary to have the third ship to a certain extent? I don't know. Like
there are for and against cases for that. Yeah,
it's an interesting way to go about it, and it's created this topic. So
yeah, exactly. I will say, and this is so my last criticism of this list is if Vessery dies in this list, you're far worse off as opposed to having 2 defenders. 2 defenders is going to perform solo better than 3 TIE advanced prototypes with low pilot skills. That's just the reality. But if you're relying on an Alpha Strike and you're using that as a win condition, you're doing well. And I think this list can actually do a lot of great work. So yeah, thanks for the list, dude. This is really cool.
Well done, Leb.
Let's move on to Argerius Movradis' list. This is actually a local guy who lives in Melbourne, but I've never actually met before. So dude, we got to catch up and play a game at some stage. Your list reads Countess Riot for 38 points has TIE D, Tractor Beam and Predator. Delta Squadron Pilot for 33 points has TIE D and Ion Cannon. And Double Edge for 29 points has Lightweight Frame, Ion Cannon Turret, Trick Shot and Ion Pulse Missiles. Now, I might be a bit prejudiced here.
I was about to say, now let's talk about how much you enjoy Double Edge.
I don't enjoy Double Edge is pretty much my response to that. I just think he's a bad pilot. I see him get flown from time to time, and he just doesn't perform. I don't think that's a good pilot ability. And so my prejudice tells me that, no, don't fly Double Edge. You've got 29 points. You have so many better options to do with 29 points.
So what would you recommend?
A tricked out Punisher. You could go down 3 points and go to a Mega Leader with Duke and Com Relay. A much, much better ship at the mid 20 point cost for Imperials. And that would give you a few more points to play with to put on the Delta Squadron Pilot. You could even upgrade into like a Colonel Vessery or something like that.
Oh, that could be fun.
A Mega Leader, Vessery, and Riot feels really strong to me. I know I'm changing like all the pilots in your list, but Vessery and a Mega Leader is amazing because a Mega Leader takes target locks and Vessery wants target locks. I don't really have any more criticisms apart from that. Candace Riot, I mean, she's often played with the X7 title, and there's great reason for that because she likes to go fast and do her K-turns. Basically, Candace Riot reads, every time you do a straight maneuver, you can treat it as a K-turn.
Oh, nice.
Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful indeed. And on the Defender, every straight maneuver is green.
Yeah.
So you're doing green K-turns, you're having a great time. And for that reason, the X7 works well because it wants to go fast. Having said that, Tractor Beam Predator is fantastic with the TIE D title.
Yeah.
There's not much to say. Both of these lists have the pros and cons for them. But I think there's a reason the TIE X7 list has prevailed over the TIE D build on Countess Riot. So just consider that. There are a lot of points and options you can do with this. I feel like Countess Riot could easily drop a couple of points and still be very competitive. She can go a bit cheaper with the other title. Delta Squadron can easily go up a few points. And Double Edge can go down to a Mega Leader. And you've got a really good build.
It's just like, and Double Edge can just get out.
Yeah, Double Edge. I'm sorry, Argerius. I don't like Double Edge.
Prove him wrong.
Yeah, okay, guys. I want you to, in the comment section, give me a great Double Edge list. Prove to me that he's great and I'm just wrong. I just don't know with Double Edge. I can't see any good justification for stacking that many points on a guy that actively wants you to miss. It's not like you get a target lock or a focus when you miss. There's just... I don't know. Answers in the comments. How do you make Double Edge work? Let's move on to today's last list. This is from Jonathan Weaver. We have a TIE Defender with Colonel Vessery with a TIE D title, Ruthlessness and Tractor Beam. A TIE Defender with Glaive Squadron Pilot for 36 points with TIE D Crackshot and Tractor Beam. And a TIE Advance with Lieutenant Colzet for 24 points with a TIE X1 Advanced Targeting Computer for a reduced cost of 1 point. Totaling at 99 points. So, right off the bat, really cool symbiosis you have in this list is you have Ruthlessness, the TIE D, and the Tractor Beam.
Yeah.
Basically, Justin, when the Tractor Beam hits, you assign 1 Tractor token to the Defender. Ruthlessness says you pick 1 ship at range 1 of the Defender after you hit an attack, and they suffer 1 damage. Now, that can be one of your ships, so it can hurt you.
Yeah.
However, alongside TIE D, you take a shot with Tractor Beam, procs Ruthlessness. Yeah. Take a regular attack, procs Ruthlessness.
That's very clever.
And Tractor Beam also helps you hit the second attack. So that's very good. I like that build a lot. There's not a lot of cool things to do with Ruthlessness, but I think this is one of the better things for sure. 39 points, pushing it with Vessery, but if you get this there, if you make this do what it's trying to do, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
Glaive Squadron, yep, cool. Nothing to say much about that. You can switch it over to the TIE X7 title if you really want to save some points. In fact, I think based on what I'm about to say next, that might be a good option. Because I don't love Lieutenant Colzet. I mean, I know I sound like one of those meta snobs, but let's be honest, there's only really one pilot on the TIE Advance.
There can be only one.
Pretty much. Lieutenant Colzet reads, at the start of your end phase, you may spend a target lock you have on an enemy ship to flip one random face-down damage card assigned to it face up. Now, I have a big problem with that because with the TIE Advanced, you want to keep your target locks because you get the free critical result on every attack because of that extra modification they take. So if randomly flip something face down, face up, nah, I don't like that. It's not good enough. My issue is, and we just talked about this in another video with Han Solo, if you spend a target lock to do anything but use a target lock in its normal way, it has to have a really good effect.
Yeah.
Like a really good effect, because using a target lock is so offensive and so great.
And this just isn't enough.
Well, it's not much better than using the target lock just in its regular way.
Yeah.
You have to hit with an attack. I mean, I get it. You keep the target lock to use the TIE Advanced title's ability, and then you can spend it. But then you've lost your target lock. I feel like you would rather just keep your target lock, and in those rare situations where you need to panic and get something done, you spend the target lock on the attack, not to do this. So with this pilot ability, you've got 3 different reasons to use the target lock, and I feel like his ability is actually the worst out of all of them. I know I'm being a bit harsh on old Lieutenant Colzet, but frankly, I think he's a bit useless with his pilot ability.
Yeah.
If you want to go TIE Advanced, you're really looking at Vader and maybe Juno Eclipse, but it's hard to justify with anything else.
Yeah. So what would you do instead?
So basically, instead, I think there is an easy option for what to do here. You can take Omega Leader. Omega Leader with Duke and Com Relay costs 26 points. Yes, I know it's meta and everyone flies it, but dude, there's a reason everyone flies this. It's fantastic. And, oh wow, this is so good with Colonel Vessery. Because Omega Leader wants to take target locks, Colonel Vessery wants there to be target locks on the ship.
Yeah, adding that symbiosis back into it rather than both of you fighting for the target locks.
Exactly right. I know Lieutenant Colzet also likes target locks, but Omega Leader likes them just a little bit more, and he plays around with them a bit more. Lieutenant Colzet wants to spend his target locks, and that's the issue here. Yeah. Omega Leader will keep a target lock.
Indeed.
And that's why it's better with Vessery. I mean, imagine this. Omega Leader locks a ship. Vessery dives on that ship. He takes a shot. Range 1. Tractor beam. Bam. Free target lock. Reroll everything. Just pulverize him with a tractor beam. Ruthlessness triggers. You hit another ship.
Yep.
Then he takes a range 1 shot. The defender has a tractor beam. Bam. Another target lock because the target lock's already there. Ruthlessness triggers again. He hits them for potentially 4 damage. He's melting ships.
Yeah.
For that reason, you want to make sure that you have a ship on your squad that is really, really happy to share around target locks.
Yeah.
For that reason, Omega Leader, for me, is a no-brainer in this list. It means you have to go up a few more points on the TIE Advance, so for that reason, I would actually switch over the Glaive Squadron to a TIE X7 title. Just make TIE X7, keep Crackshot there, that's good, and you've just got a basic TIE Defender that sits at a slightly lower squad point cost, but it's still going to do a lot of work for you. It's still pilot match with Colonel Vessery, and it's still a great ship. It unfortunately puts a big target on Colonel Vessery, but between the other Defender and Omega Leader, you have enough firepower to get around that issue.
You can at least defend yourself well with both of the other two. That's good.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, I know, particularly for new players to go, oh, this is a pilot no one uses. I'll use it. I'll make it great. And then for the better players to go, no, it's no good. There's a reason it's not in the meta. But you got to remember these ships and these pilots, some of them are just weak. It's okay to accept that.
Yeah.
They're not precious snowflakes that you can just make work in the right situation. No, some of them are just bad. It's okay. It's okay. Don't stress over that. There is a meta for a reason. And Lieutenant Colzet just doesn't work into it, and there is good justifications as to why he doesn't work in the meta. But overall, I really like the list. I really like the list. I really like what you're doing with Vessery. I think the rest of the list can change to better support him. And if you do that, Vessery is doing a lot of work for you. And for that reason, I really like it. Righto, so those were the Defender lists we had over the past couple of weeks. Yeah. Please, in the comment section, if you have any more Defender lists, let us know and we'll get to it in a later video. And if you have any other lists at all, put them in the comment section and we'll work on those in another video and have a nice chat about what works and doesn't work and give you guys some help. I hope these videos have been helpful. That's the main thing I want to get.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make everyone that little bit better.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, like our Facebook page, and we'll catch you later on.
Bye!